Hello everyone, Brick Dark here. Today I'm reviewing the LEGO Spider-Man No Way Home Spider-Man at the Sanctum Workshop set, which has 4 minifigures, 355 pieces, and retails in the United States for $40. So here is the Spider-Man minifigure included. He does come with these Web Blast builds, which use those pack of webs that were introduced in 2019. Very cool piece. And this is a really cool character. This is just really cool suit. It's kind of like the advanced suit with a gold trim. Now we haven't seen any of this suit in the No Way Home trailer, but I really hope he does wear it because this is a damn cool suit. You have the dual molded legs, which is different from the ones that they gave the advanced suit because it does have these little gold bits at the bottom. I believe the face is the same with those bigger eyes, which I think looks fine here. It looks a little wacky on the advanced suit because I know the suit has the smaller eyes, but this one I don't think is that bad. That gold is really nice and reflective, and this is just, I love getting Spider-Man suits, and this is definitely a highlight for me. Think the second biggest highlight of this set is the Doctor Strange minifigure. Now this is a completely brand new figure, and this uses a very different build for the Cloak of Levitation, where it's just this one rubber piece, which is the same material they used for something like the 1989 Batman cape, and this is a really cool piece. I do kind of wish they had a little golden buttons or whatever on these little bits, but still, as is, this is a really cool piece. Apparently you can put it on the minifigure without taking the head off, but I don't particularly want to test that out. Looking at the Doctor Strange minifigure himself, you do have some very nice printing or painting on the hairpiece, which is really cool. You also do have the Eye of Agamotto, which is very interesting because that got destroyed in Infinity War. Very nice detailing all around. I do wish they gave him some sort of spells because they just don't. So that's a bit odd. But on the back, he does have a confident smirk. And then he has a determined expression at the front. Really cool figure. And this is really the first majorly different Doctor Strange, because the one that came in Infinity War sets just had a different hairpiece. Everything else was the same as the 2016 version. So this is the first really different Doctor Strange that we are getting. And he's a really cool character that deserves more MC. Just more Lego minifigures and all. I just got a notification, that's why I lost my train of thought. But yeah, really cool figure. Here is Wong, and this is the first time Wong has come in a retail set. There was a Bricktober version, which I was fortunate enough to have, but this one is the first one that comes in a retail set. So some people might be a bit annoyed by that yellow parka design because they don't just get a standard Wong, but it's still cool. The hair is a little bit wacky. It's a bit too much hair, but they could have included a second face. I don't know why they didn't. But this is still a cool figure if you don't have Wong already. I already do, so I kind of prefer the one I have, but that's also just a much more detailed version anyway. It has side leg printing and all that. But still, this is a cool figure if you haven't gotten Wong before, so it's not a bad figure by any means. So here is MJ. This is a much more accurate version than the one we got in 2019 with the hairpiece. It's the same face they used for the 2019 version as well, with that look on the back. The torso print, I believe, is from Harry Potter, though I'm not too sure. This is definitely the least interesting character of the set, but it's not a bad character by any means. If you didn't get the 2019 MJ, this is a great opportunity to get MJ. But yeah, not that interesting of a minifigure. So we have two main builds, this bug monster and then the Sanctum Workshop itself. The Sanctum Workshop is very different from the previous Sanctum Sanctorium, which is a set I do own, but it's in pieces because I just didn't find it that interesting. I do think I prefer this version a little bit more, but it's a cool part back. There's a lot of cool little details. So let's start over on this side. So the first thing you'll notice is this pair of plant vines or tentacles coming out of the chest. That's an interesting build where they just have it rest between that bit in the chest and it stays there very nicely. You have some very nice parts like this compass piece up there in the eggshell for a little artifact, as well as an egg, a bunch of potion bottles, as well as a dark blue toolbox in the middle right there. You also do have this hourglass piece, which isn't a particularly common piece, it's new. Have a boombox, a cookie, then another lamp using an eggshell build at the back. Then you do have this little computer tile, which you'll zoom in, is, come on, zoom, focus, damn it. I hate this, but essentially what it is, so yeah, you can see it now. It is Mysterio and Peter Parker. That's just a cool little print. You also have a keyboard. You can spin this chair very well, and you also have this web piece up there that also comes in the web pack. You get a lot of these brick pieces. Then moving to this side, you do have a lot of stickers, which these are kind of annoying to place on, but they do give this nice pattern, and that looks very nice. Then you do have this Candelabra, I think that's what it's called, I don't really know, but this is a relatively new piece that holds 3 of the candles. It's right next to the couch as well, which I don't think is a particularly safe thing to do. But you also get the game controller piece, you have a literal mountain bike up there, a bunch of tools, and in this drawer you have another tool, and then in the drawer beneath that you have a syringe and another tool. Those can just slide on back in. Then in this little, just knock the candelabra over, in this, you do have a couple gems, a green gem and a red gem, which just flew off camera. That's a cool little detail. Another interesting little detail is this little piece back here is one of those like crystal bits they introduced for dots. That's interesting. Flipping it around, I just knocked the plant monster, but flipping it around to the back, you do have this blue scorpion, as well as this little build, which has the city geode piece, which that is a really cool piece. I believe introduced in the space line of 2020 or 2019, one of the two. But that's a very cool piece, not too common. Then over here you do have a spider, and then you do have this little area at the back with this cauldron, which I think is where Doctor Strange can cast the multiverse spell that ends up shattering the multiverse, which that is a cool little detail to include. And then finally you do have a pink gem and a golden statuette minifigure. But yeah, that's about it for the build of the Sanctum. Lots of small details, but not that many play features. I guess you just use it to imagine the scenarios and play with the characters in them, instead of just having things like, oh, this part explodes. Which that was something kind of similar with the 2016 Sanctum, so it's kind of cool to see them do that again here. No, this isn't Scorpion. This is not any villain that'll appear in No Way Home. They did the same thing with the 2016 Doctor Strange set. This is just a random monster they threw in because they didn't want to spoil any of the villains, which I think is fine. This has a lot of posability. It does use those poison ivy vine pieces as the legs, which that works pretty well. It can somewhat stand on them, but I think it's better to just have it like that. You can move each of these claw pieces individually. You also have the arm on a ball joint and then the shoulder as well. The head is also on a ball joint, and I like how they build that using that whatever it is, rock piece. You also have a sticker up there which has some of the detailing of the just overall scales. That's what it's called. Then on the back you do have, I guess, what would be the tail, what people are thinking is Scorpion, but no, it's not. This isn't Scorpion. This is just a random monster they threw in. And this isn't going to appear in the movie. At least I don't think it will. You have a couple other bits, like these claws at the front. You can move this whole top part, but really just keep it in this backmost orientation. You can have a figure trapped inside of the claws, which that's pretty cool and fun to play around with. But yeah, that's about it for the builds of this set. Let's take a look at the box and the instructions. The box for this is a thicker box. I can't think of any sets that use this box. You do have the very nice suit, that same suit that appears in the set, as well as that whole comic book style that they've got going for a lot of the sets this year. The thumb tab came off, but they do have up there the Legoized version of that suit, which is really cool. And then you can see just some of the details of this set. The Bug Monster isn't actually featured on the back of this set, which is rather interesting. And then up top you just have the Spider-Man figure for reference. And yeah, that is the actual size. Good job, Lego. The instructions are pretty big, and there's... Interestingly, the cover doesn't seem to be, like, it's not big enough. There's a small little bit of yellow that shows through for digital building instructions, but on the back you have an ad for the mech sets. I've reviewed the Captain America mech and the Miles Morales mech much earlier in the year. Then you have some of the other Infinity Saga sets. Again, I don't own any of these, but I do want all of them except this one. I only want the figures from the Guardian ship. I've had 2 Guardian ships, and they've both ended up in pieces. That's just how little I care about them. So overall, this is a pretty cool display piece and parts pack. You get a lot of really cool pieces, like the hourglass piece, as well as the egg and the geode piece, and there's also a camera included. I forgot to put that in the set, but it's just loose, and it goes about there. It's just a standard camera piece. And then you also get really cool minifigures. 3 exclusives and another way to get MJ. The Doctor Strange and the Spider-Man are excellent. I love them. They are so cool. And then you also get the Bug Monster, which is a pretty cool thing to play around with. Again, lots of detail packed into this. And as for it being the only No Way Home set so far, it's pretty good. There better be more, because this is very clearly just something put together in an attempt to cash in on No Way Home without spoiling anything that happens in No Way Home, which I can understand. But I'm just saying, there better be more sets, because if this is the only set, then my opinion on it drastically decreases. But if there's more No Way Home sets, I am happy. Overall, as it stands, I would give this set an 8 out of 10. There's maybe a couple of things I would have liked, maybe 1 or 2 little play features, other than the Bug Monster, but still, it's a really cool and really well detailed set with excellent minifigures. I highly recommend you pick it up. It's definitely worth $40 price. It's big, and it's got excellently detailed minifigures. They really do go above and beyond with Spider-Man minifigures. I don't think any other superhero receives this kind of treatment other than Spider-Man. But that's about it for this review. See you guys later. Peace.